Welcome back to Manual Liberty. I'm Connor, and today we're going to be doing a front-to-back fluid overhaul on the 350. I have 25K on the clock, give or take, and I don't know how well or how bad the car has been taken care of prior to me getting a hold of it. And by whole fluid overhaul, I mean everything but the brake fluid and coolant. I've already done the brake fluid with the Motul RBF, and I've really been happy with that. It really alleviated every problem I had with the Motorcraft 4. No longer have any kind of fade. Have not ever cooked it yet. And yeah, we're going to be doing the motor oil, the Tremec, and the rear diff. And if you didn't know, you put RTF, ATF for your auto fluid and the Tremec. And the rear diff, I have opted to not go with the recommended gear oil top. We'll talk about that later too. But I want to be bringing you along for everything front to back, along with the Ford manual link that they have put out. If I'm not able to really clearly and openly able to put out there on video, or if I can't kind of elaborate clearly enough to convey for you to follow along. But I do have the battery out on an unrelated note for a 3D modeling project. I'll have my link for that down below if you need anything made. Want to hire me? I've got a pretty big portfolio with that, and I made quite a bit, and I really like to. I kind of got it for a backup gig, if you want to call it that, but off topic. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get to the video now of how to, and I'll be bringing you along for that. And beginning off here with the GoPro now, go ahead and take a look at our current oil before we drain it. Get back out. And right here you got it. Let me flip it over. On the other end, it'd have a little bit rained down. It might not come in clear either, but definitely well above the bottom hole there. Not really burning any amount to be worried about at all. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get the drain pan up underneath the oil pan. Take the drain plug off, let it drain, and then I'll work on getting the oil filter off. Car now. Nothing under here, not acting in a way that it ought to be, no kind of leak or anything. Good to verify that way you got the car in the air and be able to look at everything. Everything looked pretty good to me. No leak, no oil, all good. And got your oil pan here, and the only thing you'll need will be a 3/8 drive, either whatever kind of tooling you want, to put in your hole there, and you'll turn it out and it'll oil drain. There's a 3/8 drive, whatever tool you want on here, like that. Let it come back around. It will turn until it'll hit that little knob right there before coming out, like that. Go ahead and let that drain now, and we'll bring you back after that. And right here will be the part number for a new oil plug, if you knew it, if you need it. There. I think it might apply to every 550 other than the 500, I think. I think they have a metal oil pan and take a different plug. I could be wrong on that, but if you need it, there you go. Technically, I found nothing wrong with my old plug here, but I've already got at minimum one oil change with it. I'll probably do mine every other oil change, depending on if they're leaking or whatever. I'll go ahead and pop that out of the bag now, and I'll keep my old one for a backup if I need it, or whoever might need it. And go ahead and get that out of the bag. I'm going to move the O-ring lightly on the new plug here. that. Perfect. And I'll grab the 38 drive here. We'll go ahead and put it back in now that the dripping got quit. Go ahead, put it in like that, and turn it until you have it locked back on top of that tab right here at my thumb. And go ahead and verify that with the 3/8 drive here. We are tight, good to go. I'll clean up around it, and then we'll move on to the oil filter. And over here at the oil filter now, I've never really found a good way to kind of take it out without completely drowning everything in oil from it. A little bit of cardboard here I'm going to try to make a kind of funnel out of. Looking maybe toward making a 3D printed thing here later on, maybe to kind of fit up underneath it and help alleviate a lot of it, but ultimately you're kind of left to whatever you can do. If you can make it out the line right there with my finger for your oil filter tray, VAT25, or that'll be what mine will fit anyway. I don't know if mine have been altered or not, but it'll work for mine. Go ahead and drop that down. Alright, I'll give you all my patent pending funnel here, cardboard funnel. Do not try to replicate, but not really. It may help, it may not. Ultimately, there isn't a whole lot you can do in the way of kind of alleviating the draining problem around it. But we'll give it a try here. I'll try to get it out really quickly and pull it out very quickly, and hopefully it'll only have a little minimal amount here on the belly pan, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Right, I have got the little cardboard drain on here, and I have broke the oil filter from, or rather now being able to turn, and it could go horribly wrong, or it could halfway work. Go ahead and grab it, and I'm going to pull it fairly quickly after I get it free of the thread. I wouldn't call that terrible. It could have been better, like anything, but you can tell funnel worked to a degree. Alright, let that drain for a moment, then I'll make an attempt to get it cleaned up, and we'll go from there. Main kind of body for the oil filter. Go ahead and take off either O-ring here, put on the new that we provided, and I'll bring you back after we do that. I'll kind of walk you through how to put another one on. You don't want to pull them out, you kind of want to roll them over. I'll try to do that one-handed here for you, that way you can get an idea. Kind of turn it while you roll it over every individual thread until you get down to where you need to be. Kind of like that. There we go. Kind of roll it down. That. Now you got it in the upper area for the O-ring. Now you got it all the way around. Verify that you got it flat and good to go before doing anything with it, and you can kind of re-lube the O-ring with the oil off of the body here, and then we're good to put our oil filter in it. Take your oil filter body, have your new filter provided, and go ahead and do that. You'll feel it go all the way down to the bottom. You'll have about that amount coming out of the top, and now you can put it back in. And we've got our new oil filter and our main body here. And go ahead, put that back up in here. Careful not to rub it on anything other than your threading to not get any kind of debris or contaminant on the filter. Tighten it by hand here as far as you can get it. Okay, and they have the torque, pound-feet torque rating on that, so like 15 or 14, 18 pound, I believe. However, like any oil filter I do it until tight. I'm not breaking the thread, but tight enough to where you can feel it. I'll go ahead and do that now. What happened to the light? Okay, there we go. Probably worth noting too, I can't remember offhand how big for the oil filter, but I think it might be 1 1/8. If not, I'll correct my claim up here for you, where I've got 350 oil on. I can't look at that without peeling tape off. And now, after you've gotten your oil filter tightened down firmly, we're now ready to go ahead and fill it up with oil. Pop your oil cap off. That. Lay it right there. Put your funnel in, maybe. There we go. Need to find or making a angled one, probably, but either way, not too bad. And now I'm gonna go ahead and put 10 quart of 5W50 in the car, and I'll bring you back after we do that. And now, after you've got your oil, all 10 quart in the engine there, we're going to move on to the Tremec. And for the Tremec, you're probably going to want one of them right here. They are a gear and gear oil and fluid pump. Hand pump, kind of like your anything you could find at home. That there can be had at Harbor Freight for about a $10 bill. I think they're not very high at all, but it'll definitely help you for what we're about to do. And I'm going to go ahead and crack that open, and we'll get back underneath the car. Now we were under the car again. We're going to come right here to your mount. That'll be right here at your mid top. If you look right here in front of your mount, we're going to be our focal point. If I can get maneuvered around here, will be that drain plug right here, and the fill plug right. Turn my light here for you. Right there at my finger. And I'm going to go ahead and verify that I can break free the fill plug. If you can't fill it back up, then you're going to be in trouble. And like the oil filter, or my bad, oil plug, it will be a 3/8 drive. I'm going to go ahead and try that now. There we go. Did verify that I could break the fill plug free, and now we're going to go ahead and, again, that one here on the bottom, right in front of your mount, and we'll let it drain. And with that now, after a brief technical difficulty knocking the camera over, it'd probably help you to have a glove on the hand that you're going to be taking the plug off. But anyway, we got it draining now. Don't worry about cleaning up anything yet. We'll take brake cleaner to it later. You'll more than likely end up getting a little bit more on it too. On everything here anyway after you fill it. But go ahead and let that hang out here for a minute and drain, and I'll bring you back. Alright, right here I went ahead and removed the fill plug 2, being that one right there. And make note of the thread. They have like a thread blocker kind of on them, that way they don't leak out. I'm gonna go ahead and knock a little bit of that off with a wire wheel on a drill, and then I'll put on PTFE tape, wrap around about 1 or 2 around it, then I'll put the drain plug back in. And we've now got our PTFE tape on the lower drain plug. You probably could get away with it. Looks like they put plenty of kind of their whatever you want to call it, their kind of glue on it. You probably could get away without doing it. However, I definitely don't want to have any problem, and I opted to put 1 wraparound of PTFE tape. Go ahead and put that back in there now. They have it rated for, I think, 21, 22 foot-pound of torque. I'm going to go ahead and tighten that until hand tight, being how it had come out that tight, and we'll talk about what to do after. And now after putting the drain plug back in, now time for the quote-unquote fun part. That being, let me turn you around here. Well, the fill plug we talked about earlier, that thread open right now. Going to hook our pump up in there, and we're going to fill it up to the top of that hole, and then we'll talk about what to do after that. And I've got the pump outlet up there in the threaded hole now. Go ahead and pop the cap off the ATF here. Take off the wrapper. Like that. Put our pumper down in it, and we'll go ahead and pump. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to go ahead and have your drain pan underneath here. I do not have, I'm not fortunate enough to have my car on the lift, and I can't really make out when we'll get up to the fill level where it needs to be, you know, right below the threaded part. But I'm gonna go ahead and pump until I get a little bit back out, and then we will talk about how to kind of prime the cooling. And now that we've got a little bit of dripping going on, I went ahead and put that back in the bag. Got it laying here hanging out for the time being. They now want you to run the car in gear for about a 2-minute period in order to get all the ATF through your cooler. If you do have a non-track pack car without the cooler, that here will not apply to you. You need not worry about it. But I'm gonna go ahead, get up in here now, and let the car run. Alright, now that you're in your car, got your key, verify that you have the car in neutral. Clearly, you know, verify that you got your car firmly on either lift or jack. I've got mine firmly on a multi-point deal. Go ahead and hold in neutral all the way down, and your accelerator all the way down, and hit that. Okay, now you have primed your car. Neutral again, and you can hold in your clutch pedal, and now you can fire it up. Go ahead and turn everything back to neutral. Now you want to go ahead, put it in gear like that. E-brake off. I'm going to try second gear for this. Everything probably be very unhappy given the fact that you don't have the car, don't really know that you are you know, up in the air. Clearly I've got my hood up, car in gear. I'm gonna go ahead and run a 2-minute timer now, and I'll bring you back after that. And now you let the car run for a period of 2 minutes or longer. I did a little bit longer than let it warm up. Verified that I had no oil leak or anything like that, or I did do my oil too prior to that. Now you get to come back up underneath here, and you'll be able to take back out your fuel plug and fill it back up to the brim of the fuel hole. And bring it back to what you know. I think the light on. Right. Right there through the little hole. Got our fuel plug in with the Teflon tape or PTFE, whatever you want to call it. Good to go. Now I'm gonna take a little bit of brake cleaner and everything, get it cleaned up. And we are now 2/3 of the way done with the fluid. And we'll move on to the diff. Alright, again, if you have made it that far in the video, I'd like to congratulate you for not yanking your hair out. We're now moving on to the rear diff. Alright, if you're looking from the ground up to your differential on your Track Pack 350, that big block right there with the nut going into the diff will be your lower cooling line. And I can navigate the camera for you. Alright. Point my finger right above my finger will be the fuel plug. The diff will take 2.05 quart of either 90 or 140, depending on what you're doing with the car. I'm opting for 140, but we're gonna go ahead and take off that line, let it drain, and I will check too to verify that I can take the fuel plug out. Alright, after verifying now that I could break free the fuel plug, go ahead and move here. I think it might be about maybe a 22, give or take, millimeter. I don't have a big enough opening for it. I do have a anything wrench that I'll be putting on it, and we'll break that free and I'll bring you back. Got it broken free. I'll get the camera in here, there we go. Got it broken free now. I think I can pull it back like that. Perfect. Let that drain out of there. Definitely pretty dark looking. I could tell by how tight the fuel plug had been and the fact that it had been that tight that likely the car probably didn't ever have any kind of fluid drain refill now up until now. Definitely a little bit darker than what I like to look at for diff. I don't think it'll be hurt in any way. I'll look at the drain plug here in a moment to verify we don't have any metal or anything, but then we will work on getting the fuel plug out and we'll fill her up. Alright, bringing you back now after got everything drained. The way it turned out, I made a boo-boo here with taking the plug out. You're not meant to take the plug out, rather take that cooler line off here with that clip right there. My thumb, hopefully you have enough light to make it out. But yeah, you're meant to do that, not take the whole plug out. However, if you don't have a Track Pack car or you have a regular GT, then you'll be taking the drain plug out anyway. But now I'm gonna go ahead, put it back in, get it torqued up, and we'll work on getting it filled. Got our drain plug tightened back up. Took the fuel plug out, had any better lighting. Now I'm going to run a gravity feeder to that. Alright, I've got our feed line running up into the fuel hole. My gravity feeder, I'll hold that up while I pour it, and hopefully it don't come out of the fuel hole. I could have opted to, do the ATF bumper that I had, but I like to keep them, And with that now, I am done. Got brake cleaner underneath the diff to clean it up. Going to get everything cleaned up, let it down off the jack, and give it a drive here, another clip, and we'll come back and verify we don't have anything leaking, everything working properly. I would figure it would be a little bit better than before, given the fact that what Motorcraft will put in the rear diff to begin with, their modifier, you don't need the modifier with the Ansel if you do go for it. But yeah, talk to you in another video.